Is your cat not the same anymore, and you don't know why? Perhaps they sleep more, hide, eat differently, or no longer seek your affection like before. And the most worrying thing is that you might be thinking, it's normal because of their age, when in reality, they could be suffering in silence. Older cats don't complain, they don't show pain like we do. But they do leave signs that many don't recognize. In this video, you'll discover what's really happening to your cat, and how to help them before it's too late. Before we get into this first mistake, there's something you need to understand. Your cat doesn't have to be very old to start experiencing significant changes. In fact, according to veterinary experts, a cat begins to age from the age of 7, although many owners don't notice because they still look active and healthy. And here's the problem. While you think they're still young, their body is already changing on the inside. From that age onward, the risks of illness, joint pain, and neurological changes increase, although they aren't always visible. That's why what you're about to see isn't just information. It's what your cat wishes it could tell you, if it could talk. And the first mistake is one of the most overlooked. Sign 1. Behavioral changes, the message many ignore. Your cat isn't changing its personality, it's trying to tell you something it can't express with words. That cat that used to seek your affection and now withdraws, growls, or even reacts unexpectedly, isn't becoming difficult, it's trying to survive in pain. From a veterinary perspective, these changes are often related to silent diseases such as osteoarthritis or even feline cognitive dysfunction, a condition very similar to Alzheimer's. The most shocking thing is that many owners interpret it as normal for old age, when in reality it's an urgent warning sign. Your cat isn't exaggerating, your cat is enduring. That's why observing its behavior is one of the most powerful tools you have. If you notice changes in how it interacts, sleeps, or reacts, don't ignore it. Early detection can make the difference between alleviating its pain, or allowing it to progress silently. Sign 2. His resting place could be hurting him. It may seem like a minor detail, but where your cat sleeps can directly affect his health. Many older cats keep returning to the same old corner, not because it's comfortable, but because it's familiar. However, as the years go by, their joints become more sensitive, cartilage wears down, and cold or hard surfaces intensify the pain. Veterinary studies show that the vast majority of senior cats develop some degree of joint disease, although they almost never show it visibly. This is where your responsibility comes in. It's not just about letting him rest, but about ensuring he truly rests well. Providing him with a soft, warm, and accessible bed, in a place where he can feel comforted, not only improves his physical comfort but also strengthens his emotional well-being. Because sleeping well at this stage is not a luxury, it's a vital necessity. Sign 3. Their mind needs to live too. There's a very common mistake that seems harmless, but can accelerate your cat's decline, thinking they no longer need stimulation. When a cat ages, they don't stop needing mental activity, on the contrary, they need it more than ever. Science has shown that a lack of stimulation accelerates cognitive decline, causing disorientation, anxiety, and memory loss. That cat that seems calm, stares into space, or sleeps more than usual, may not be relaxed, but rather slowly disconnecting from the world. Keeping their mind active doesn't mean demanding things of them, but rather providing them with appropriate stimulation, gentle play, predictable routines, and visual stimuli such as observing the outdoors. Small actions that activate their natural hunting instincts and curiosity. Because when you stimulate their mind, you're not just entertaining them, you're protecting their identity, their lucidity, and their quality of life. Sign 4. Silence doesn't mean it's okay. One of the most dangerous mistakes is trusting what you see, because in cats, the most serious problems are often invisible. Your cat may be eating, sleeping, and behaving normally, while an illness is silently progressing inside its body. This happens because cats, by nature, hide any sign of weakness. It's a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. Diseases like kidney failure, diabetes, or hyperthyroidism can develop for months without showing obvious symptoms. And when they finally do, it's often too late. This is where prevention becomes key. It's not about waiting for something to go wrong, but about getting ahead of it. Regular veterinary checkups, especially for older cats, can detect problems long before they become irreversible. Because in the feline world, what you don't see is precisely what matters most. 5. Small details that save lives. Sometimes, the most important signs are also the easiest to ignore. A little more thirst, slight weight loss, a less shiny coat, these seem like normal changes, but they can be the beginning of something much more serious. In veterinary medicine, these small details are often the first clues to diseases such as chronic kidney failure, hyperthyroidism, or diabetes. The problem is that, by the time the symptoms become evident, the internal damage is already very advanced. For example, in the case of kidney disease, your cat may have lost much of its function before showing clear signs. That's why your daily observation is so valuable. You don't need to be an expert, just be present. Knowing their habits, noticing what changes, and acting in time can make a huge difference. Because at this stage, the small details are not small. 6. Grief and stress can also make them sick. Cats feel, and they feel deeply. Although they are often perceived as independent, emotional changes can affect them more than we imagine, especially in old age. The loss of a companion, moving, or even changes in routine can have a significant emotional impact. On a physiological level, chronic stress releases hormones that weaken the immune system, increasing the risk of illness. Some cats stop eating, isolate themselves, or change their sleep patterns. And most importantly, they don't do this on a whim, they do it because they are processing a loss or an insecurity. At this time, your presence is key. It's not about forcing them to interact, but about calmly accompanying them, respecting their space but making them feel that they are not alone. Because when an older cat loses emotional stability, their physical health also begins to falter. 7. Their diet can no longer be the same. Your cat's body has changed, but often their diet hasn't. And that's where one of the most silent and dangerous mistakes begins. With age, metabolism slows down, nutrient absorption decreases, and organs, especially the kidneys, become more vulnerable. A diet that was once adequate can start to cause problems such as muscle loss, dehydration, or kidney overload. From a veterinary perspective, older cats need high-quality protein, higher moisture content, and specific nutrients that support their health. Wet food, for example, isn't a treat, it's a key tool for keeping them hydrated. Adapting their diet isn't spoiling them, it's caring for them intelligently. Because at this stage, every food they consume can be an opportunity to strengthen their body or slowly weaken it. 8. Your cat needs you more than you think. There's a widespread myth that older cats prefer to be alone. But the reality is much deeper. As they age, many cats develop greater emotional sensitivity. They become more aware of their surroundings, of changes, and of the attention they receive. When a cat withdraws, it's not always due to independence, often it's because they feel they are no longer an active part of your life. And that, believe it or not, can lead to states of depression and apathy. The signs are subtle, lingering gazes, timid approaches, soft purrs. They are small ways of asking for connection. At this stage, your presence is more important than ever. You don't need to do grand things, just be there. Talk to them, keep them company, include them. Because for your cat, you are not just their owner, you are their world, and their greatest source of security. 9. The details that can change everything. There are care items that seem small, but that have a huge impact on your cat's life. Dental health, for example, is much more important than it seems. Bacteria in the mouth can travel to the heart, liver, and kidneys, causing serious illnesses. The same is true for nails. When they aren't worn down properly, they can grow excessively and dig into their paw pads, causing pain and infections. And something many underestimate, routine. Older cats depend on stability to feel secure. Sudden changes can cause stress, affecting their digestive and emotional systems. It's not about doing everything perfectly, but about being mindful. Reviewing, observing, and maintaining simple habits can make a big difference. Because in the end, it's not the grand gestures, it's the small, daily acts of care that truly define their quality of life. Cats don't show pain like other animals, they hide it out of instinct for survival. That's why many illnesses go unnoticed, until it's too late. If you want to recognize the hidden signs before it's too late, watch this video. 7 alarming signs your cat is sick. You can't miss it. Your cat won't tell you it's in pain. It won't ask for help with words. But it trusts you, completely. And now, you know something many owners discover too late. If this video helped you, remember this. Caring for an older cat isn't just about love. It's about attention, awareness, and making the right decisions in time. Tell me in the comments. How old is your cat and what changes have you noticed in it? Every little change you notice, every detail you don't ignore, can be the difference between watching it age or watching it suffer in silence. And in the end, the only thing that truly matters is that it's okay with you.